do we want? When do we want it?
Last Wednesday, a rally was held at the North Carolina Capitol as hundreds of locals encouraged the Senate to make the Tar Heel state number 20 to join the Convention of States movement in order to propose constitutional amendments that would place meaningful limits on D.C.'s power. Rick Santorum headlined the event along with COS co-founders Mark Meckler and Mike Ferris.
And what we're seeing in the federal government is this sucking sound of everything that is done in this country is now being increasingly controlled by Washington, D.C. We're the ultimate Marxist star in the deep state and now in the White House.
It is a game of incremental victory. Sometimes it takes people getting unelected. Sometimes it takes people retiring. Sometimes it just takes enough grassroots to come out over enough days and months and then years in order to make something happen. The main thing I want to encourage you to do is to fight.
We are standing for what's right in the face of what is wrong. We are demanding justice in the face of injustice. They want to spend your great-grandchildren's money and tax them on things they never got a vote for. That is a violation of the core promise of this country. That is injustice in a deep and profound way. This isn't some small issue we're talking about. This is ultimate justice. And we believe in self-government. And we believe it with the kind of fervor that's going to make us stand up and do it, and we are going to prevail. It may take time. It will take time. But it is a cause worth fighting for now, in as many months, as many weeks, and as many years as it takes. We will win because justice demands it. God bless you. Thank you so much.
The COS North Carolina team earned local media coverage and are optimistic about their chances to pass COS Action's Article 5 application in this legislative session. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, COS State Director John Gwynn took part in a rally for a resolution that would prevent international health regulations on the state.
We have an obligation to the next generation to stand up and fight for our God-given rights. We have followed or allowed our federal government to far exceed its mandate given it by the Constitution. We need our state leadership to hear us and bring Senate Bill 426 to the floor for a vote.
The Massachusetts team recently held a rally of their own at their capital, and in between his travels, COS President Mark Meckler has been spreading the word about Convention of States in the media. Here are a few clips from recent interviews on Flashpoint, Full Measure, and One America News.
Yeah, Mark, you're the CEO of the Convention of States. Tell us a little bit about your organization, what you're working on.
Yeah, look, most of your listeners will agree, your viewers, that the federal government is completely out of control. And we know Washington, D.C. is never going to fix itself, even with Donald Trump in power, even with a good Congress. We can only do temporary things in Washington, D.C. And if we really want to fix the problems, we have to rein in the federal government. It's become expansive. It's grown far outside the bounds of the Constitution. And the way to rein that in is to use Article 5 of the Constitution to call a convention of states and propose amendments to take power away from the federal government, to impose term limits, impose a balanced budget amendment, impose things like saying get rid of the Department of Education and Energy and Health and Human Services, the EPA, things the federal government was never intended to do. And calling a convention of states gives us the power to do that.
Mark Meckler was a top organizer in the Tea Party, a popular movement started after controversial government bailouts of banks and insurance and car companies in the economic meltdown of 2008. A wave of Tea Party candidates swept into Washington, D.C. with the mission of reining in big government.
When all these people got elected, the ideas got discussed, then they went to the D.C. swamp and they were just eaten by the swamp. I was there.
Now Meckler heads a logical follow-on, a group called Convention of States Action, which is organizing grassroots campaigns in every state to push back on big government and what they see as systemic waste and corruption.
We can call a convention, we can propose amendments to limit the power, scope, and jurisdiction of the federal government. It takes 34 states to do it. So far, 19 states have done it. I expect very shortly North Carolina will become number 20.
It's wonderful. You know what, and Mark, we need to, Flashpoint needs to stay involved with that. Let us know, because we need to help.
Finally, check out these snapshots from COS events going on around the country, including Delaware, Nevada, Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, and North Carolina. And now, you're up to date with Convention of States.
Let's do